Hi, everyone. I'm Doug Black, Editor-in-Chief at Inside HPC. And today we're with Jane Trenaman. She is Vice President, Portfolio Product Management at Ansys. And we're here to talk about the Ansys Gateway powered by the AWS Cloud Services platform. So, Jane, it's very good to be with you. And why don't we start off? Tell us a little bit about your mission at Ansys.
Hi, hello everyone. Well, I lead what, as you've just heard, is called the portfolio at Ansys. And portfolio just means that it's the technologies that surround the traditional Ansys engineering simulation physics solvers. So for those of you who are familiar with Ansys, you know that Ansys has a very long history with what we call flagship physics solver technologies, our structures, our fluids technologies. But as time's gone on in the industry, of course, the physics itself is not the only thing our customers need. Our customers need technologies that surround those to help connect the solvers into the organization's infrastructure and to allow them to get extra value from those physics solvers. And of course, you know, HPC, cloud technologies, these are examples of technologies that leverage physics but bring additional and incremental value that helps our users get more bang for the buck, let's call it that. So included in the portfolio are things like optimization technologies or material sciences, databases, model-based systems engineering, which is a methodology for connecting from requirements to analysis. Things like the design, high-end design engineering and our GPU live physics solver. These technologies are all incremental above the core physics, and I look after all of those with a team of very smart product management professionals. And of course, a key element of all of this portfolio is our cloud and HPC stuff. So hence, I'm speaking to you today, Doug.
Okay, great. So why has cloud become so important for engineers? What are some of the challenges they face that make HPC class applications on the cloud so attractive?
Well, I think it's the same challenge that engineers have always faced. It's just that it's becoming an increasing pressure. So, engineers have always had to solve the engineering challenge, whatever that might be, within a certain period of time, right? In commercial or industrial companies, whether it's automotive or aeronautics, or doesn't matter which segment, electronics, there's a pressure that is derived from the time to market. How long do we have to design and solve the problems to get a safe, reliable, robust product to the market? That timeline has been shrinking. Well, it continues to shrink. I guess that's the best way to say it. You know, I've been in this business engineering simulation world for 30 years now. And I remember when I first joined the industry, automotive companies were trying to drive from a 5-year initial concept to roll into production design cycle down to 3. They're now driving it down to 18 months, right? I mean, imagine that, it used to be a clay model, the old days when someone would actually create a clay model of a design of a vehicle, and then they'd go through a whole series of steps. So those steps, they're shrinking further and further, and it doesn't matter which industry, that pressure still exists. So that's one problem. And the other side of it, you've also got that we're designing more and more complex engineering products with increasing challenges around multi-systems, multi-physics. So for example, if you think about an electric vehicle, I just talked about automotive driving from 5 years design cycle to 3 and now to 18 months. Well, guess what? They've also got a major paradigm shift in their engineering challenge, right? For the first time in 100 and whatever years since they first were commercially making vehicles, we're moving from an internal combustion engine to an electric engine. What does that do? It's a huge problem because it's the total, the heat consumption, the complexity of the wiring harness, all of these are increasing challenges. And this level of complexity is being faced across nearly all industries. It doesn't matter whether it's electronics, where we're trying to solve for 5G, for example. Automotive, we're trying to solve for maybe autonomy or electric vehicles. In aerospace, they're trying to solve for unmanned vehicles and the increasing challenges associated with those. So the increased complexity plus the time in shortened time to market means that all of the engineering disciplines are looking to solve more quickly problems that normally would take longer and longer time. That means they want to run more analyses, and that means more compute power. And of course, Doug, all of that together means we need cloud and HPC to help provide the compute power and the flexibility of access that they need to solve the problems.
Okay. Now, how is Ansys approaching cloud, and how does it fit into your product strategy?
Well, for Ansys, Ansys' core mission is engineering simulation, right? So cloud is an adjunct to that. And so how we view it in terms of our overall strategy is that cloud is an enabling technology. In other words, for our customers, what we're trying to do is allow them to get the maximum leverage to solve those complex problems according to the timeline they want to, using our core engineering simulation products, whether that's structures, fluids, optical, electronics, all of those types of applications. So cloud enables them to get more value from those and enables them to use them to meet their current, modern day engineering challenge. And so, for example, for us, it's not important that we have a cloud offer. It's important that we have multiple cloud offers. It's important for us that our customers have choice of offer, that they can choose which CSP they wish to work with, that they can choose which particular hardware resources from the CSP best suit them. Whether it's GPU resources or AMD resources or Graviton resources, depending on which CSP they're talking to, right? So for us, it's about enablement and an open ecosystem and flexibility of choice for our customers. And I think the other point that's important here is that, product strategy needs to match the reality of customer circumstance, right? So customers are driving more and more to global teams, global collaboration, Doug. So again, cloud offers the ability for them to access technology independent of geography and location. And so all of that means it's necessary to our product strategy, but it's about enabling our products to be used most effectively by our customers.
Okay, excellent. So Jane, tell us about some of the highlights of the partnership with AWS.
Well, AWS, it fits into everything I just said, right? Our partnership with AWS is about ensuring that our customers, who are also, let's call it this, the joint customers between AWS and Ansys, have the choice to continue to use their own CSP under their control. So the partnership we signed with AWS was done about just over 12 months old, and it had a number of elements included in it. But the most critical one was the creation of what we call Ansys Gateway, powered by AWS. And what that is, Ansys Gateway basically is a CSP marketplace offer. So it allows our customers to use their CSP, their choice of AWS, which means they keep control of the contract with AWS and therefore control their own costs. It enables them to access from AWS Marketplace all of their Ansys technology, right? So they don't have to buy different licenses. They're bringing the licenses and technology they already own from Ansys, but they can access it via the marketplace so they can utilize it within that with their own AWS tenant. And the other element of it that's very important is that with the partnership, we have been able to do what I'd call an optimized packaging. It means that all of the Ansys technologies, Doug, have been packaged specifically to leverage the best of the AWS resources. So, for example, we took Fluent, which is our main CFD flagship, and it got repackaged to take it to work in an optimal fashion on AWS drivers and hardware resources. So the customers who are utilizing it on Gateway get an optimally performing product. So it's basically the best of both worlds, right? It's AWS and everything it offers, combined with the Ansys technology that people are used to using. So it's not, we haven't had to rebuild the technology. The customer still has the same Ansys user experience that they've been used to. that depth, that rich user interface that they're used to using in their engineering day to day.
Okay, great. And now share with us your views of the future of simulation in the cloud.
Oh, I sound like that creepy character from The Matrix when I say it is inevitable. But it is inevitable, I think. So, for all of the reasons that we've already talked about, Doug, right? The increasing pressure for, reduced time to market, the increased complexity of engineering challenges that we face, the need to effectively work in global teams without, we almost don't have even time zone boundaries anymore, right? So all of that pressure means that we need more compute power available in as flexible a delivery mechanism as possible, and also with flexible models of usage and deployment. And cloud offers all of that. Cloud gives us the basis for doing that. Of course, at the moment, cloud's still an expensive thing. Technology, we know this, right? I mean, 30 years ago, if I said I was having a mobile phone, it looked like a brick, and all it did was take a phone call, and it didn't do that very well either. Whereas now our phones, we use them for our photos and our music, as well as our email and texting and everything else we do with them. All of it, by the way, supported by cloud, which is behind the scenes, and we don't even register it. But that technology is getting cheaper and cheaper. I think, the same thing's going to happen with our cloud engineering compute power. It will become more and more affordable, and I think it will become more and more the basis of engineering simulation. Right now, some of the market surveys and things, sort of suggest that around 60% of what you'd think of as the industrial companies, the automotive, the big electronics, the big A&D companies, are using cloud in their day-to-day operations. Maybe they've got private clouds, whatever sort of deployment modality they've chosen, but if they've all begun their journey. So we'll just see over time. I think, though, that it'll become the norm.
Yeah, very much. So, Jane, what would be your advice for companies considering the cloud for engineering workflows, but they're not sure how to get started?
Oh, well, like anything else, as simply as possible to begin with, Doug. First things first. But I think I would ask questions. I would ask questions of my team. Do we have an engineering workflow right now that really needs more compute power than we've got available for ourselves in our local on-premise HPC cluster, for example? Do I have a project where I need to do things much more quickly, or to work with a global team and enable everybody to collaborate more simply? Do I have engineering challenges where I need compute power, but we can't possibly afford to replace what we've got right now in our physical resources in our facility? All of those are the types of questions that the answer equals cloud, basically. So at Ansys, of course, a lot of what our customers do are complex workflows. So cloud might be relevant for one part of it, but not for the full workflow itself. And those questions and the answers and helping to guide our customers mean that, we've developed a team in our ACE, what we call our ACE team, which is our Ansys Customer Excellence. We've got a group there that understand all these permutations and can guide our customers through. So for those of you who are already Ansys customers, you can reach out to your ACE team and they will support you. For those of you who are not Ansys customers but should become Ansys customers, our sales and ACE organization, of course, would help guide you through the diagnosis of what you're trying to achieve to help you make the best choices.
Okay, excellent. Jane, thanks so much for that overview. We've been with Jane Trenaman of Ansys. Thanks so much for your time.
Welcome.